just first off, and for the audience, because maybe a lot of audience may not know you, can you tell us what you do professionally?
Hi, I'm Ralph Weaver, and I'm the founder and CEO of East-West Connection. We're a full-service strategic meeting management company. And so what does that mean? We plan meetings and events around the United States and around the world. Everything from incentive programs to national sales meetings where there may be 2,000 attendees. We do all the behind-the-scenes work from the content development to the transportation, getting people to and from the location, finding the venue. We're the make it happen people that leads to a successful event. So we have a team of 75 employees based in a little town called Pittstown, New Jersey. If anyone knows where that is, but it's central New Jersey. And then we have employees throughout the United States and around the world. So we've been in business. We'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary in August 1. So I've been doing this for quite a while. So that's East-West Connection in that shop.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Palacios. I think you all met with someone on my team, Claudia Suarez, earlier today. And fortunate enough to be part of SCIF now for probably the better part of 7 years. And so it's really wonderful to see how this organization has grown. Big shout out to Monica and Miguel, who I know a lot of sweat equity went into today. And so please be sure to thank them on the way out. I am the head of campus recruiting for the U.S. at BlackRock. BlackRock is an investment management company and a software company as well. And we operate at the scale and scope of $6 trillion under management. And from a summer internship perspective, which is what my shop runs, we received close to 16,000 applications for 300 spots. So it's a highly competitive process. However, BlackRock has the most progressive college recruitment policy that I have seen on the street. We are major agnostic, we are school agnostic, and we have dropped our GPA requirements in some of our businesses in the spirit of contextualizing GPAs and understanding that students, particularly from diverse backgrounds, are multifaceted, and if you're working through school, or there are some other factors to consider, that shouldn't disqualify you from an opportunity. So my team, Claudia, of which is a part, is working very hard to make sure that candidates like you are not getting overlooked in the process. So that's a bit about me. Thank you for having me.
I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Terrence Clark and G.D. Maddox here because I have been a member of the New York, New Jersey Minority Supplier Development Council. So the partnerships that he says and the connections with other organizations, it's because of this organization that I'm here today. So I wanted to just acknowledge them for all that they've done for East-West Connection.
So my first question is, how did you get into, just briefly, because a lot of us are college students and sometimes we're uncertain on the direction and stuff, how did you get into the position that you currently hold?
Well, I started out in corporate America. I worked for Johnson & Johnson and Bristol Myers, where I was in marketing and communications. And I reached a turning point in my life where I said, I wanted to do more. I didn't know what that more meant. And so when I started, but in my journey on the corporate side, I always was responsible for different meetings and events and working in the creative space. So I said, that sounds intriguing. What is it that I can do, or what value can I bring to the table if I start my own business in this space? And so that's what I did. And I learned, I couldn't do the business or manage the business had I not had the experience that I learned in corporate America. And so that, but I was on the corporate side for about 13 years, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons, how to do things the right way, how to network it. We talked a lot about the different processes and procedures so that my business wasn't affairs, making sure that I had a financial arm of the business, I had a strong controller, making sure that I had the right legal guidance. So all of those things so that when you're starting a business, it's more than just the idea. Just having that idea is wonderful, but if you don't have that business acumen, grow your business, and also protected me from getting, say, investors in my business that once it's successful, I could lose, or I could have sold away part of my business if I didn't have the right mentors and professional guidance along the way.
So I'm going to throw it way back if you don't mind. It'll be quick. Just don't mind me. So I'm a first generation college student and definitely would never have imagined being in this seat, earlier in my life ever. Any Latinos in the audience? Okay, yeah, all right. So first generation Colombian American, and that means when you grow up, you have to be a lawyer, doctor, engineer, right? Because if not, what are you going to school for? I was an English major, so explaining that to my grandma was interesting. Like, Mija, you speak English? I'm like, it's not Latina. So to say that my career trajectory has taken many twists and turns along the way is an understatement. What I can advise you all is that every single job that I've had in my professional career, I've gotten from an informational interview. I was never interviewing for a position, so my advice to you is you're always interviewing in a way, because just like Monica said, you look to your left, you look to your right, you don't know who's going to be hiring. 2 years from now, 10 years from now, you want to make sure you maintain those connections. So I won't take you through the gory details, but in essence, the company that I was interviewing with had a gut feeling that they weren't a great company. I said, oh, do we have any alums there? And they said, yes, call this person. And they said, oh my gosh, that's a horrible company, don't go there. It's like finals week every week. That to a college student was like, oh my God. So I just started honestly meeting with anybody that would come and take an informational chat with me, and that's how I got my first job right out of school. And very similarly, kept networking and kept learning about different industries, because that was not a career trajectory that my parents could inform me on. Unfortunately, my father passed away when I was young. My mom was a single mom. She was not in a corporate environment, and she was not able to advise me in that kind of a trajectory. And so I'm very fortunate that later in life, my stepdad was able to kind of bridge that gap. But for a long part of my young life, that was missing, and that might be the case for all of you. So be open is my biggest advice, and it's not always about landing in the right company. It's always landing in a company, no matter how big or small, that's going to invest in you. Because the job may sound great on paper, and it might be like, oh, this is the exact industry that I want, or the exact job that I want, but if the culture's not there, and they're not going to invest in you, you're going to fall behind your peers in the end, because nobody's developing you in that way. And that's why it's so exciting that the Institute is being founded, and that Skip is taking, going out of their way to really invest in you, because that is really what gets you ahead and differentiates you on the long-term of a career trajectory.
So I just wanted to give a reminder that we will be taking audience questions in about two more questions. I'm going to ask individual right now. You can ask individual or to the panel, but please just come over here if you have a question. So my first question is to you, Jessica. Being in the campus program at BlackRock, what are you looking for from college students especially? Are you looking for leadership positions? Are you looking for a high, I know you just said you removed the GPA, but what are those other factors then that you're looking for?
Yeah. It's a good question, and unfortunately depends by business. So for our coding jobs, we're looking for people with technical skills. For our sales jobs, we're looking for people that are going to be good in front of clients. But the advice that was shared earlier with respect to seeking a leadership position, or really just diving deep into any area that you're passionate about, is the most important thing. I can tell you from the campus recruiting process, we're not looking for that one magical thing, but I can tell you exactly why people don't make it through the interview process, and that is they didn't prepare for the interview. We heard about that earlier. They didn't Google the company, they didn't Google the industry, and one complaint that I get from my interviewers sometimes is I really had to pull the answers out of them. So that means the person maybe didn't prepare that personal story on how to weave it in. They don't have an elevator pitch on all the things that are on their resume. Someone made the good point about the other skills and interests at the bottom of your resume. They didn't take the time to maybe put something in there that they can show a tremendous passion for. So I can't tell you we're looking for just one thing, because it really, really depends. But I can tell you that universally, those are the reasons why we see candidates fall out of the funnel. And it's disappointing for me because it's totally achievable and surmountable challenges. So just prepare, read up. There's LinkedIn now. You can stalk your interviewers if you know their names in advance. Try to prepare and over-prepare and show and find ways to lead right behind you, waiting for the spot, so.
Thank you for that. And this one's to Mr. Ralph Weaver. Can you talk to us? I know you just mentioned a little bit briefly earlier about having that corporate experience before starting your own business, but now it's been in for over 30 years. Can you talk about the first 5 years, though, of when you started your business and like the struggles of just starting off? And was there any uncertainty with it? Did you have like doubts about it succeeding? Can you talk to us about that?
No uncertainty, right?
No, I
Zero.
knew it. When I think back on it, it was probably the most stressful time of my life, but it was the happiest time of my life. You know, because when you're doing something that you enjoy, you're passionate about, it gave me a reason to truly get up every day with a sense of excitement. Because when I was on the corporate side, and I'm not trying to disparage or say anything disparaging about the organization that I worked with, but I would have a 60-minute, I called it my 60 minutes experience or syndrome, every Sunday night at 7 o'clock. In my stomach, I had to go there, and I was doing very well financially, but I just wasn't happy. I didn't enjoy what I was doing, but I could do it well. I was faking. So how could I show up and have my genuine self? And so in starting the organization, that's what I did. I found what I was good at, what I was meant to do. But during those first years, I tried to surround myself with positive people. Because when you're on that journey in a new business, people look at me. Why would he leave this job? He's doing very well. He has all this to go out into the unknown. And so you had all those naysayers. But then I had a supportive group of people that said, you can do it. You can do it. Keep following your dream. My mom would say, keep stepping out on faith, and that's what I did every day. So when I would get those setbacks, I looked at it not as a setback, but as a learning experience, how I could become better. How could I improve myself? How could I make this business even stronger? How could I make my presentation more effective? So I looked at it as a challenge, and I kept saying, okay, you can do it. And then looking in that mirror every day, saying, you can do it, and believing in yourself, and the importance of having wonderful mentors that are going to tell you like it is. If I was steering to the left with the business plan, how did they steer me back center? And so having loving and caring people like my sister back here, Adrienne, that when it was just a dream, she believed in the dream. And so that kept me going. And so one of the things that I used to do was to read and look at people that I admired. I would surround myself with them and go. And just when I look back on it now, it's like, wow, it doesn't even seem like it's 30 years because each day it's a new day, a new opportunity. I approach the business as though it is day one of BWC. But there were trying times. I would be lying if I said that. As your staff gets larger, payroll gets larger, the sleepless nights, you said, wait a minute, I'm responsible for 75 different mortgages. I'm responsible for the livelihood of, if you take that 75 and their relationships, they have family members, it's several hundred people that I'm responsible for. So I carry that with me every day, how I show up to make sure I'm at my best. And I'm not very cavalier in saying, oh, if we lose a client, we can get out of this. No, I worry about it many restless nights. And the business has aged me, but aged me in a good way. And I do have the wisdom and the joy and the fulfillment to say, I am creating opportunity for people. I'm giving people a chance. And I hope to do that in terms of my partnership with Skip, to give opportunities and chances to all of you.
How many of you are thinking about entrepreneurship? Quick poll. Okay. Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs here who are interested. Definitely, this is why the panel exists, is to get that kind of wisdom, especially starting off. It's important to listen in, like you said, read a lot about like just the business and have those people around you that will be able to lead you to success with your own business. Now, I said we have only a couple minutes left, 5 minutes. So I would definitely like to take a question from the audience if you have one.
Hi, my name is Lamisa. I'm from Brewer College, and I have a question for Jessica. My question is that I know Aladdin is really big in BlackRock, and what would you look in a person who's applying? What qualities for a role within Aladdin?
I'll borrow your mic. And we'll just keep passing it to the next person. Aladdin is the software platform. It stands for Asset Liability Debt and Derivatives Investment Network. It is our proprietary software that we sell to our competitors and to other portfolio and investment managers to manage assets. And it's compliance, trading, settlement, everything all under one platform, one-stop shop. And so to answer your question, we're really looking for people who have technical skills for people that are the software engineers. We code in Java primarily. And then for some of the product or client-facing roles, we're looking for what we call tech curious. So maybe people who have taught themselves Python on the side, have advanced Excel skills. So really just demonstrating an interest, but not necessarily coders.
Hi, my name is Angie Gomez. I go to Rutgers. I study marketing, and I'm a junior. So my question was, you mentioned that you worked in corporate America. You have a long history in corporate America. As a person of color, how can we navigate through an environment predominantly saturated with white men? And how do we kind of break down the barriers and connect with them on an interpersonal level?
Great question.
It is. And those barriers, I would be lying if I said they didn't exist. But it's having the confidence and the dare to dream and not let anyone place barriers on what it is that you can do. And that belief in yourself, so every day, and surrounding yourself, as I said earlier, with supportive people that may have had the experience before. And that's why mentors are so important. So that when you have a situation where someone is going up that roadblock, go to someone and just bounce off of them how you may respond to that situation so that you can always show your best self, that you're standing proud in how you're responding to that. And just saying, it's almost like instilling that confidence in yourself, always showing up, giving your best self every day. And I often tell my team, we have to be bulletproof because my mom would always tell me as a person of color that we had to be 10 times better than. So I walk with that every day. So everything that I do, I make sure if I'm sending an email, it is perfect. If I am sending a proposal, it's well thought out, it is strategic without mistakes. If I'm making a presentation to people, I show up in the right way. And it's all in those self-improvements that you can't wait for someone to define who you are. But when you show up every day your best self, no one can take anything from you. And so if you walk with that every day, you're walking with your head held high. So it doesn't matter what the world is saying because you know I'm wearing it. I know who I am, what I am. So whatever you're saying, I can overcome that.
I'm just, sorry, one quick plug, not all of white kids are created equal. A very important white dude helped me with Ty and find a spot right on our team, and that was looking like a little bit of a tough situation, but we found a full-time job for Ty, who you've heard from earlier. And so my other advice would be, entering the workforce, make sure you kind of have that mentality as well, that there's an opportunity for growth and learning and mentorship. And that in the end, the numbers are there. It works more to your advantage to befriend and seek those mentors out and have those relationships to help build the resiliency that you need on those tough days.
So just a quick note, this has to be the last question to stay on schedule, so I apologize for that, but
Hi, my name is Justin Crowder. I just have a quick question about you. What are some losses that you guys took throughout your entire professional career, and how do you overcome those?
In terms of losses, I'm going to say when you think you're ready for an opportunity and it's a major account and you prepare it and you know that will propel your business to the next level, and then you don't get it. You're just crestfallen because you've given it your all. And what I learned, and it was a difficult lesson, is how can I then improve upon the next opportunity to go back and ask people questions for them to critique? What did I do wrong? What were the areas for me to improve? But in the moment, I felt defeated. But you don't live in that space too long. That's a couple of hours. Pick yourself up and say, okay, what is it that I have to do next? And then just one other point I wanted to make, that in terms of with your mentors and who you surround yourself with, make that a reflection of what the world looks like. So don't just go to mentors that look like you, but also someone, because I've had some tremendous mentors that background was so different than mine, and those were the best experiences, and also tough love. Sometimes we don't want to hear what someone says. I remember his name, Charlie Michael, that would rip my writing to shreds. But from that, it was the greatest moment. I learned so much from Charlie Michael that I couldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. So
He's famous because of you.
Yeah.
Remember his name.
Yes, it stuck with me.
You know, it's hard to characterize a loss in the same way. I'm not in, kind of getting accounts, but we'll say just from a personal perspective, I was certainly not in a position or well-versed in salary negotiations or asking for raises. And so one could argue that I've taken losses personally in my own compensation potentially because I did not advocate for myself at early points. And just to give you a little bit of context, the research shows that even at your age, when you're getting internships, and it depends on the company, so like at BlackRock, it's one standard offer, you can't negotiate, but some companies you can. Women are less likely than men to ask the question, and that can lead to an earnings gap over the long term of the career. And that's how, it maybe starts out small when you're a young person, but then throughout the course of the career, that earnings gap is there. And so it's tremendously important to learn from those conversations. And I would say I was probably unsuccessful in advocating for myself in that manner maybe 5 times. But from each time, I think I learned a tremendous amount from mentors who were giving me tough love to say, hey, you're not ready for that promotion, here's why. Those are the moments of growth. My thing is, it's only a failure if you fail to learn from it. And if you take it all in stride and make sure that at the very least you're learning from it, it's not a failure. You keep it moving, you take the lesson from it, you go to your mentor, you cry, keep a few hours, right? Keep it moving. And so I would just say that, it's all about perspective when it comes to losses, because I would say, with every loss, probably there's an opportunity somewhere, and it's on you to figure out what the universe is trying to tell you in that moment. You may not want to hear it, to your point, but there's definitely a lesson to be learned there.
Well, I think that's all we have time. I'm told that unfortunately we have to end it a little short, and I know that everybody had questions, but thank you to our panelists for doing this. We really appreciate you guys.
Okay, a nice round of applause for them, please. They're hoping you will be with you the rest of your life, and I echo their sentiments. Needless to say, I tell each and every one of you, become the client prior to becoming the vendor. That's really the claim to fame. Go, you study hard, go into corporate America. You might want to be an entrepreneur, but you definitely need to know how to navigate corporate America. And by being the client, by being a part of corporate America first and foremost, and then you decide to become an entrepreneur, you'll anticipate what the client is thinking because you were actually in their seat. That's our claim to fame, so to speak, my partner and I. We were executives in corporate America, and after 10 years of being in it, we felt that it was time for us to take that knowledge base and work for ourselves. And it really gave us a leg up because we knew how to navigate corporate America. You knew how to comport yourself in front of high-level executives because you were one yourself at the time. I tell all the young people, don't go and become an entrepreneur right away, right out of college, because there's still so much you need to learn and know how to be able to speak, how to be able to present, how to comport yourself, how to dress even, believe it or not. Some of us don't get that knowledge base until we're in it. And that's why we're about developing the whole man and woman. We're about standard presentation skills, dressing for success, being able to work in a team environment where we do different modules of training and development in terms of leadership, project management, time management, problem resolution in the workplace. There's so many different topics. So you can get access to that by becoming a SCIP member. And what does it take to you to become a SCIP member? We're going to have a booth outside, and it's a minute amount of an investment, because it really takes $25 for the year to be able to get the calendar of events. We have events every month. We're national in size and scope, so you're always going to be able to get access to the who's who of corporate America. And we bring the decision makers at our venues versus having it to be a cattle call that come on. We have certain standards in all of our events that they have to be adhered to. Not because we want to discriminate, but it's because our stockholders and are the ones that mandate of us what type of students I want to see so that my time isn't wasted. So that's why it's very important for you that if you don't feel ready, you feel you need more training and development in order to get that opportunity to get in front of the decision makers, I would highly recommend that you invest in yourself and consider becoming not only a SCIP member, but even consider opening a SCIP chapter in your college and university, because we're a chapter membership as well, organization. And that on your resume is going to bode well. But when they see that you have had a leadership position, you've developed a team, and the different accomplishments that you did while you were studying in college and university, or beyond, your master's, your PhD, that's going to give you more of a leg up on your competitors, your colleagues that's next to you that didn't have that experience and are going for that same opportunity. So bear that in mind, okay? Well, it was a real pleasure having all of you today. I hope you've learned something from it, and that it's going to be meaningful and help you with your career path. And if there's any questions that weren't answered today that you still would like to articulate, please meet with me, my partner, and all of my colleagues here that took time out of their hectic day to have a world of experience and knowledge to be able to pass on to you, and also have the keys that can open up, unbelievably, a lot of doors for you as well, to be able to push into your career that you're seeking. So hopefully we answered as much as we could, but if there's still any questions, please reach out to myself and Monica or the colleagues that we have here today.
Yeah, and on behalf of Blacks at Microsoft, we wanted to just also thank you for coming out. We hope you found the day super valuable. I feel like we've gotten to know a lot of you on a very personal level. We're